restoration isn't just about fixing paint. Sometimes it's a resurrection of history, personality, and scandal. Imagine standing before a painting covered up for centuries, waiting to reveal its true identity. But here's where it gets controversial. The person under those layers was none other than Isabella de Medici, notorious for her wild parties and tragic fate. While some folks whisper to their houseplants, Ellen Baxter, chief conservator of the Carnegie Museum of Art, gently chats with her canvases. "I tell her she's going to look beautiful," Baxter says, applying varnish with steady hands as she prepared to revive a 16th century portrait. The process isn't as simple as it sounds. In fact, it means painstaking inpainting with delicate brushes and precise dabs of varnish and solvent. If you think art restoration is just cleaning up dust, think again. This restoration project wasn't straightforward. Isabella's portrait had spent years hidden beneath a second painting, created in the 1800s, that depicted a softer-faced woman, believed to be Eleanor of Toledo, wife of Cosimo I de' Medici, Florence's powerful duke. But most people miss this. Museum records mistakenly credited the artwork to Bronzino, Cosimo's court painter, a claim that would soon be challenged. Former curator Louise Lippincott, famous for her keen eye and candid opinions, she thought the painting was, her words, awful, sought Baxter's expertise. With her rare blend of scientific and artistic skill, a painter with degrees in both art history and chemistry, Baxter scrutinized the painting, not as a flat object, but as a layered, almost three-dimensional artifact, akin to a visual lasagna. Immediately, she noticed the face was suspiciously dull, almost like the lid of an old cookie tin. Curiosity piqued, Baxter flipped the canvas and through a little digital detective work, found a stamp from Francis Leadham, a 19th century reliner at London's National Portrait Gallery. Relining means the artwork had been transferred from wood to canvas through a careful and destructive process, scraping and sanding, followed by gluing the paint layer onto new fabric. It led to layers upon layers of history, literally stacked on top of each other. To confirm her suspicions, Baxter turned to X-ray scans. Sure enough, hidden strata of paint appeared, proof that older, bolder features were lurking beneath the Victorian mask. Slowly, with patience and skill, Baxter began removing centuries of accumulated varnish and overpaint. And this is the part most people miss. Underneath emerged a woman of commanding appearance, much stronger featured than the dainty Eleanor. At the same time, Lippincott dug through historical records and found a Medici-commissioned replica in Vienna, matching the hairstyle and dress exactly. Not Eleanor, but her spirited daughter, Isabella de Medici. Isabella wasn't just a figure of beauty. She was a rule-breaker. Cosimo's spoiled favorite, famously extravagant and rumored to have many lovers, including her husband's own cousin, Troilo Orsini. She ran households through wild feasts and spent lavishly, all covered by her father, even as gossip swirled. But controversy isn't lacking. After Cosimo's death, her brother Francesco showed her none of his father's indulgence, and Isabella met a mysterious end in 1576 at age 34. The official story said she collapsed while washing her hair, but many proposed she was murdered, strangled by her husband in a jealous rage, supposedly to make way for another woman. What really happened? It's a question that still divides historians, and maybe you have an opinion. Baxter also discovered the urn Isabella holds in the portrait was a later addition, not by Leadham and not part of the original canvas. The urn's resemblance to one seen in images of Mary Magdalene invited speculation. Could Isabella have requested it herself, hoping to present an image of repentance and virtue? Was she seeking forgiveness for her wild reputation, hoping history would judge her more kindly? This is literally the bad girl finding redemption, commented Lippincott. Another controversial angle that challenges how we narrate women's histories. Even though Baxter admired Isabella's spirited history and could paint with the best of them. She resisted any urge to reinforce or embellish the rediscovered portrait. "I'm not the artist. I'm the conservator. My role is to repair what's lost, not to inject myself or my own vision into the painting," she firmly stated. Some might argue for a more creative restoration. What do you think? Is conservation strict repair, or should it also reflect modern interpretation? Now, let's hear from you. Does the restoration of Isabella de Medici's portrait reveal a new truth, or simply spark more questions about history's judgment? Do you think art conservators should stick strictly to the facts, or is there room for reinterpretation? Drop your opinions below. Your perspective could change the way we read both art and history.